Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. First of all, the countdown begins. 82 days to go. There are 82 days left until Field Marshal Asim Munir's retirement and the arrival of the new army chief in the country. But as I've been telling you for the past few days, these remaining days are not going to pass easily. You see the clock ticking on your screen, the ticking sound that seems like the watch is moving forward. But in reality, the ticking sound is like a time bomb ticking in Field Marshal Asim Munir's mind. He is so terrified of this that he desperately needs an extension. For the remaining days, there will be a circus every day in Pakistan. Something will happen every day until he gets the letter for an extension, until things come under his control and he receives the extension for the next 5 years. Until then, from Washington to Islamabad, from Islamabad to GHQ, from GHQ to Adiala, from Adiala to Karachi, and from Karachi to Rawalpindi, the political chess game will continue. Cards will be dealt, and conspiracy after conspiracy will unfold. Every day, new characters will appear, new dramas will unfold, and it will feel like Pakistan has completely turned into a circus. Today, in this context, another new conspiracy was played out in front of Adiala jail. When Alima Khanum and her other sisters arrived to hold a press conference, the journalists who were being used by the establishment, meaning Field Marshal Asim Munir and his fellow generals, started misbehaving with Alima Khanum even before the press conference had begun. A scuffle broke out, and then there was baton charging and violence. A new FIR was lodged against the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf workers, Alima Khanum and others, and the workers were arrested and taken to the police station. How did this incident happen? It had already been predicted by Adil Raja and other generals. They had been predicting this would happen in advance. Adil Raja, who used to be the producer for Arshad Sharif, had already predicted that this would occur in front of Adiala jail. Why did they predict it? First, let me tell you about the person behind this. A person who is being presented as a journalist, but is, in reality, a stooge. His name is Tayyab Baloch. Recently, Muhammad Ali Jan had asked him the spelling of knowledge, and he couldn't answer. When he was asked, he responded rudely, saying not to attack him personally. This is the same Tayyab Baloch who works at Bol TV. It's widely believed that Bol TV is an ISI-backed channel. The channel was forcibly taken from its original owner, Sheikh Sahib, and everyone knows how they were treated until the channel was seized. Now, there's a general impression that this is a military-backed channel, or that their editorial policies are controlled from there. Anyway, the field reporter for Bol TV, who covers Adiala jail and goes there regularly, was told that he wouldn't cover the press conference and that Tayyab Baloch would go in his place. Tayyab Baloch had previously misbehaved with Imran Khan, and after that he apologized. Just a few days ago, he had misbehaved with Alima Khanum as well. Today, Bol TV sent him again to cover the press conference, and it was already predicted by reporters that things would get worse. On the other hand, at the press club, certain journalist-like stooges were seated, waiting, because there was a script. They were expecting violence, and they had already prepared to release a press conference and press release claiming that violence had occurred. A major anchor from Islamabad, who is very close to the PMLN, regularly communicated with Tayyab Baloch and provided him with content. When Alima Khanum arrived to start her press conference and said Bismillah as soon as she finished saying that, instead of being allowed to speak, Tayyab Baloch interrupted and rudely asked, "Who do you think you are, spreading propaganda against journalists?" This line was quite rude and inappropriate, especially as it wasn't even a question during the press conference, but an attack. Despite this, Alima Khanum and others ignored it and tried to continue with the press conference. When Alima Khanum began to speak again, Tayyab Baloch then said, "What do you think you are?" At this point, the so-called journalist Tayyab Baloch, who is nothing more than a tool used by the agencies, started to provoke the crowd by asking this question. This led to a violent reaction, and the ISI agents who were present began to beat him. Obviously, PTI workers might have been involved too, because once the environment is created, when one person hits, another joins in. Now you might say, Dr. Gullah, you are part of the propaganda brigade for PTI. You only report what suits your narrative. Let's look at this video, though. It's from Azad TV, not my video. Azad TV also has a general perception of being an ISI-backed digital channel. Watch this video and see whether these are slaps or just soft taps. Watch how ISI agents, who appear to be giving him soft taps, look like they are slapping him. But that's not all. A journalist named Aga Sawar, who was also previously harassed by the ISI, has given a detailed statement. He clearly mentioned how he saved Tayyab Baloch from further violence, taking him to the side so that he wouldn't be harmed. However, then a man, wearing a green shirt, pushed Aga Sawar aside and took Tayyab Baloch back into the crowd so that the public could beat him. Tayyab Baloch, who had been smiling, seemed to go willingly, as though he had a specific target or purpose. The public, tired of the government's incompetence, of rising prices and inflation, took matters into their own hands. When the public gets angry, they often lash out at whoever is in their sight, sometimes even innocent people. But when the public punishes someone, believe me, that person won't be able to straighten up for days, because mob mentality is dangerous. As soon as the ISI agents started pushing him, workers also joined in, and he was pulled away from the scene. The workers were arrested and new furs were filed. This entire incident was part of a well-orchestrated plan. Before this, the egg-throwing incident was also a part of a plan. We've shown you in videos that everything happening in the media right now is part of a drama being orchestrated by Field Marshal Asim Munir and his allies. Why are they doing this? You're intelligent enough to analyze the situation yourself. If you look closely, everything will become clear. This is all a drama planned by Field Marshal Asim Munir and his allies. The purpose? I've already explained it. These 82 days won't pass easily. Every day will be a circus. Some journalists have responded to this quite intensely and openly discussed it. For example, journalist Salim, who is a lifelong opponent of Imran Khan, said this time that journalists should also think about their questions. Those who are connected with social media, when they insult someone, it's not a question anymore, and reactions like this can happen. A woman, an elderly woman, saying to someone, "What is your worth?" or "What is your position?" Using such words and not even allowing the press conference to start, creating chaos in it, this was clearly orchestrated, and these actions were deliberately provoked. They were sent there for this reason. Despite all this, Nawaz Sharif's daughter, who is closely related to the PMLN, Miss Asma Shirazi, initially started a campaign on social media saying that she should be beaten today and that it was justified. According to the information we have, some of the journalists' WhatsApp groups also incited people, starting with insults and then leading to physical violence. So I think this was a false flag operation. This is what they were trying to do with the PTI. But what about Mariam Nawaz? She isn't involved here. This is also the work of Field Marshal Asim Munir and his associates, and the pressure of the 82-day countdown is mounting on them. In the coming days, you will see more such things happening. Now, moving to the next story, which is about Adil Raja. Credit goes to him. He is the former producer of Arshad Sharif, and these days he's somewhat unemployed because, according to my information, the Chaudhry people do not allow him to work. Whenever someone hires him, they are forced to let him go. However, he does a great vlog, although his style is a bit rough. I've told him many times to stop wearing t-shirts like "You're not going to a wrestling match, wear a shirt instead." Personally, I don't have direct contact with him, but I tell him on Twitter, and if I did, I would call him and say this directly. I am only saying this here because I want him to hear my voice, that his appearance needs a little more professionalism, because you're doing journalism, not a wrestling match. But his reports are highly informative and breaking news. We often watch his vlogs and follow him. His stories are unique insider information and breaking news. So if you get a chance, definitely watch his vlog. It's good to support such people who are doing meaningful work. Supporting their voices is a form of charity. When you strengthen the voice of truth, you weaken the voice of lies. Even if you do this from home, you're doing a good job. So I recommend you to watch Adil Raja's vlogs. Today, Adil Raja broke a story. Today, Justice Yahya Afridi convened a full court meeting. The reason behind calling this full court session was the new court rules and procedures, which determine how the Supreme Court should operate, how cases are heard, how bench formations should be, and which cases should be heard. Justice Yahya Afridi was tasked with changing these rules at the Supreme Court, while Justice Sarfraz Dogar did the same for the Islamabad High Court. The new rules for the Supreme Court were passed in a matter of minutes, just like how Justice Sarfraz Dogar passed the Islamabad High Court's rules. Justice Yahya Afridi did the same at the Supreme Court, but tried to pass these new rules through circulation. However, legally, the full court is the only one that can approve such rules, and passing them without consultation from the full court is a violation. These rules were made without proper consultation and without engaging the full court. Justice Yahya Afridi tried to bypass this, but the 4 dissenting judges, Justice Mansour Ali Shah, Justice Moeed Akhtar, Justice Aisha Malik, and Justice Uthman Allah, wrote a letter to expose this and stated that they were never consulted before passing these rules. They also pointed out that the passing of rules without full court consultation is illegal. This is not the first time that Justice Mansour Ali Shah wrote a letter on this issue. A few days ago, he wrote to Justice Yahya Afridi outlining 6 concerns, including the rules, the constitutional bench, and the 26th Amendment case. Now, 3 other judges, along with Justice Mansour Ali Shah, have written a letter exposing Justice Yahya Afridi, accusing him of becoming a servant of Chaudhry Nizam-ud-Din, passing rules based on his will, and bypassing the full court. Siddiq Jan is also reporting on this issue, stating that typically the full court meeting is held in court number 1, where every judge has a microphone and they can speak. But this time, they were deliberately called to an auditorium where only the Chief Justice had a microphone and others could not speak. This too, he reports, was part of a conspiracy. So, in summary, these 4 judges, Justice Mansour Ali Shah, Justice Moeed Akhtar, Justice Aisha Malik, and Justice Uthman Allah, have written a letter exposing how the Supreme Court rules were violated in the process of being passed. They have criticized this behavior and called it unacceptable. Now, moving to another important news. Today, Pakistan, or more specifically one of Pakistan's institutions, signed an agreement with the United States government. The agreement gives the United States access to critical minerals in Pakistan. These minerals, which include lithium, cobalt, nickel and rare earth minerals, will now be available to the United States for extraction. This agreement was signed at the Prime Minister's house, and the Prime Minister was just a rubber stamp in the process. The United States government, represented by the U.S. Strategic Minerals Department, will now be able to access these minerals in Pakistan. As you know, China has been acquiring critical minerals from around the world, including Pakistan, by investing in various countries. The United States has been increasingly interested in gaining access to these minerals, especially since President Trump's administration. In fact, the incident with the Ukrainian president in the White House was also about securing access to these minerals. These critical minerals are essential for modern technology, and they are present in countries like Ukraine and Pakistan. In Pakistan, there are reserves of these minerals which are now being made available to the United States. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.